Black metal splits are a thing which are sometimes very rewarding and sometimes quite the opposite. This time we have here a split which features 4 different bands. And curious enough, all of them are something that we can call, rightly so, bedroom black metal ones. Pretty much all of them are, and now I'm not gonna break this, let's just not remove it, it's just black here. Pretty much all of these bands are solo projects, with the exception of the Russian entity Wintaar, because they are nowadays 2-man band. Originally, however, a solo project, and adding another artist later on to the cast doesn't really change things that much. So this one runs for 65 minutes and features 4 different acts. Elegiac from United States of America, Wintaar from Russia, Nyctophilia from Poland, and this weird name monster Venymysgourvleydh from United Kingdom. And it seems like so many bands have gotten the idea that they can be the next Burzum, the next very weakerness, and create those masterpieces by themselves just because they can do those riffs and all. But this is an idea, a thought that so many bands have gotten drunk with over the years, assuming that they can really do these cult classic releases, because of course they are as much quality songwriters as Burzum or Weakerness himself. But as we have learned during the years, most solo projects are not exactly Burzum or any other of those better solo projects. In fact, quite the contrary, a lot of bedroom black metal acts are shitty for a reason. They don't have other members to reflect their ideas upon. They don't have some other mastermind like adding more riffs and creating interesting drum patterns, adding layers of bass, keyboards, whatever you need. Now, I'm not here to disrespect individual songwriters or people, creating their music alone. Sometimes it's really good. Most of the time, it's not. And unfortunately, this 4-way split is a testimony to poor black metal projects done by one member only. Alright, not gonna waste your time to go into detail with each and every band because it's not worth your time or mine. So we'll just quickly recap this whole 66 minutes of music or whatever the full length is. Starting with Elijiac here with 2 songs. This one is quite a very, very typical solo project. The vocals are actually quite good, but that's pretty much as far the goodness of this part goes. The riffs are very, very mediocre, lukewarm, and forgettable. The production is demo level thing which you're probably doing at your own basement or bedroom. That is giving the bedroom black metal its signature name. Nothing here really stands out like, wow, these are some interesting riffs, or these are the kind of songs that I would see the live or buy an album by this artist. And as typical as it is, a lot of these bands, and Elegiac is not the worst of these, a lot of these bands have, when you operate alone, like this is only 8 years old, and there's like dozens of releases, already many albums, and even more so splits and EPs and all that stuff. There's a saying, quantity over quality, and this is in fact exactly what's happening here. I mean, you could imagine that when you all have roughly 10 albums out and a lot of splits and EPs, you probably would have honed your expression to a level that you would actually challenge those bigger names in black metal, be it, bands like Marduk or Mayhem or whatever, but it's not. And unfortunately, this is very, very forgettable part on this EP. Not the worst, but mind you, not the best either. Very, very mediocre. The next one, coming from Russia, is even more mind-blowing. I mean, if the past one was like, okay, 8 years and you have already dozens of albums, or now dozens of releases and roughly 10 albums, what do you think about this? This Majestic discography is like, what the hell? I'd actually count it's almost 40 albums, not to mention these splits here and there. There are actually fewer splits and EPs or compilations combined to full albums. And this is only 5 years old band. Now, that taken into... I mean, like, can there be really any kind of a self-criticism when you have something like 6 albums during 1 year. That is 2022, 2021. Like, what the hell? And even more so for 2020. This is just crazy, if you ask me. I mean, it's cool if you're very creative, but do you actually have to put every single idea out what you're able to do with your guitar? Now, Wintaar is here with 3 tracks. And once again, they are very, very mediocre overall quality. There are better parts here and there, like this lead is actually quite promising, or that part is. But a lot of those riffs are just forgettable, like bulk riffs coming just like from a machine that is creating. It's almost like AI generated black metal music. Something that you can just like, okay, this is listenable, this doesn't annoy me or anything like that. But it's as if that AI generated thing is actually creating these riffs. And mind you, there are these kind of processes already. I visited one of those a couple of years ago. And that was using Archbar music in order to create more same kind of stuff. And this is like that. Not annoying, not, accelerating or anything like that. Very, very forgettable. It's almost like bulk riff after bulk riff after bulk riff. And then you are getting bored. Luckily for Wintaar, the band changes by that. And then you have another solo project, this time from Poland, called Nyctophilia. And this is worth mentioning because they have actually done, he has actually done some good albums previously. Mind you, this is not very old band either, only 8 years, but at least the amount of album is somewhat more reasonable given the amount of years. I mean, it's only 6 albums, plus a lot of splits and whatever. But Nyctophilia has done some good stuff previously, so I had at least a little bit of expectations for this part of the split, and luckily it's the best one. But however, it's not the best part of Nyctophilia right there. In that context, the actual material is quite lukewarmish, but at least it's a little bit more decent. While the production is raw and there is kind of a version, kind of a vibe to it, there's at least a little bit more effort put into it, at least in terms of songwriting and quality. However, that is quickly forgotten when the last and unfortunately worst one comes into play. And this one is United Kingdom-based solo project without even an album, and this is also only 2 years old. So by the time this split came out in 2021, Wintaar, they were only like 1 year or so of age, so still very much in the diapers. And this one is done with nostalgia, named artist Venymysgourvleydh. Not even gonna try to pronounce it properly. The thing here is, with 19 minutes of track, how much quality you could put into 19 minutes. I mean, creating an epic level, epic proportions kind of a song would, require extra quality, like huge amount good and interesting riffs and lead and whatever. And this is almost totally absent of those. There are a couple of guitar leads where like, hey, I had my hopes up, like, okay, this could actually turn into an interesting song, a good one even. But nope, it's the most disappointing track on this whole album. And given that this is almost 70 minutes in total, the last 19 minutes is almost like going through the extra mile for suffering. It's not like it's super bad, but it just makes it everything like feel it like even worse. Because like I said, there are no single good track by that time. So when you come kind of late to the party and you're ready to finish it up, and then you have nothing exceptional to offer, it's more like insult to injury. I'm sorry to say, but none of these bands are good here. On this split, that is. Maybe they have individual good releases here and there, but this is acting as their business card. Like, okay, here it is. Like, okay, I'm gonna show you my songs. And yeah, if this is the best you can do, don't even go split. I'm not saying this is a bad one, but it is kind of a useless split. This is almost like those free giveaway compilations in the past, which you would got for free or as a bonus or just for very, very low price because you could actually learn about new bands you haven't heard of. I remember some good of those back in the 90s, but this kind of stuff is like waste of time. Maybe if there were totally free tracks, you would just listen to them and figure out, okay, I'm gonna learn about these bands more in depth and maybe buy them. But I can't really recommend this split to anybody. It's totally lukewarm, mediocrity all the way through. It's not even bad to annoy you and become a joke. It's just kind of a meaningless, basic black metal in a very, very bedroom black metal essence ways. So it won't be sufferable to listen to, but if you put your money on this, I hardly feel you got the feeling like this is worth my money. But to each his own and all that stuff. If you're interested in the bands, you will find all the links provided in the description box and you can start listening to it. But I can't really recommend it. If I did, I would be lying to you. So there's that. But good luck with it, and hope you can enjoy some of them. Cheers.